What's up, DJ fan? Welcome to another video on our channel. Welcome to another episode of Start to Spin. My name is Diego, also known as DJ Pretty Boy, alongside my boy Shay, also known as DJ Shay. And together we open this spot to talk about DJ related content such as pro reviews, tips and tricks, just tell our stories and share it with you guys so we can share some knowledge. So if you're a new DJ or a seasoned DJ, this is the spot to be. And with that being said, let's roll this intro.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Hey guys, welcome back. It's another episode of Start to Spin. We had to take off last week. Obviously, you know, we had work to do or family matters. So, but now we're back, and we're gonna talk about DMX lighting and why it's so important to have DMX. And that's something that Shay and I can really talk about because we are both finally in the DMX thing. So
I know. That's what my go-to. I used to say, oh, I don't do DMX. I haven't learned DMX, but I'm eventually going to. Now I finally have. I'm on the SoundSwitch bandwagon now, so that now we can have some initial conversations about DMX.
Yeah, and so we are also interested to hear from you guys. What is your DMX of choice if you do DMX? And if you don't do DMX, why don't you do DMX? And if you do DMX, why did you decide to do DMX? Because it's a very complex to people that don't know what DMX is and what it does, and to people that like engineers and stuff. Then there's specific DMX softwares that you can use that are like very detail oriented. Whereas SoundSwitch or the Airstream DMX are very user friendly, and those are like few things that we're gonna talk about. So, what's up, Jason?
Yo, Jason. Yep, Jason's in the house. So, what's up? This is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, hey, Jason, let us know, man. What type of DMX do you use, and also how did the high school event went? Let us know, man. We'd love to hear about that. And hopefully have a video coming up.
Jason uses the DMX, or I think another thing is not DMX software, but if you just use the remotes, because that's what I was using all the way up until now. So if that's another option too.
Yeah. So, all right. So he uses my
DMX Pro.
Okay. So what's the difference between the DMX Pro and the DMX Go? I
think it's probably the same. I think MyDMX Go is probably what he means, but. I haven't heard of MyDMX Pro, or if there is a difference. I don't know about it.
I also didn't know it was a difference. But anyway,
let's see what you got. Oh yeah,
we have this right here, which is the DMX lighting. You know, the master lights, the software Showdown for DJs. MyDMX Go. Okay, Jason says the MyDMX Go. My bad. MyDMX Go. I'll be getting SoundSwitch.
Yep, that's the bandwagon I'm on. SoundSwitch. I'm so far. I love it.
Yeah,
for a bunch of reasons.
Us too are on SoundSwitch right now, so we can speak kind of confidently about SoundSwitch right now because we both used it for a while now, and we kind of have a good sense. I do want to point out though the Shay is more into that, so he's gonna be taking the wheel on the DMX on SoundSwitch because he knows more than I do. I figure out what I needed to do, and after that, that's all I care about. He's actually being more into like figuring different things out, so that's something we can talk about in a little bit
more, not that much.
But anyways, so first things first, why DJs should care about DMX. So why? Because one thing is control, having control of your lights. And I'm one of those DJs that when I started, and I've said in so many videos, I've never really thought about like the control of lights and stuff like that until DJ Solstice brought it up in like a couple of my videos. And he said like my light show was horrible because as we were doing presentations, we had lights going all over the place. And I didn't realize that until I went back and watched my videos. Because again, when I first started doing the videos, I would just post them without really like looking into them. And after that, I started paying attention more into what I was doing to get better, because essentially that's what you want to do. You want to better yourself. And that was one thing that I took in consideration from him, and realized that, yeah, it looks horrible, the fact that, like Pee Wee's talking on the microphone, or they're doing cocktail hour, or they're doing speeches, and the lights are just going crazy, and I couldn't control them because I didn't have no DMX. I didn't even know DMX existed. So
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, that's big. It's mainly just to be able to go from like a static light, like everything one color, purple, to then during dance floor, everything moving at the same time too. I think it's important for the lights to be doing the same thing, like all the up
yeah,
lights doing the same thing,
yeah,
and being able to control that. So before for me, it was just using the controllers that came with the IR4s, which is why I like them so much.
mhm.
But now it's with SoundSwitch, it's like easier to do it via SoundSwitch.
Yeah,
And
and another thing is a big difference when you have the DMX is like you have the option of blackout. You can
mhm,
black out everything instead of walking to every single fixture you have to turn it off.
yeah,
Like those little things
and you can
that
do
make
everything
you
at
look,
once. That's the thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
and those little things just makes you look more professional.
yeah,
Having a coordinated lights, it gives you like a more polished look.
yeah,
So it's good. And like the good thing about DMX, like I said, is you get total control of color, movement, the timing, strobing, and there's so many things that you can do with DMX. And it also, majority of DMX infrastructures give you what is the pre-programs. So like SoundSwitch is one of those that you can literally drag your songs to the software, and the software will automatically create a light show for each song if that's what you wish. It also has already 32 presets that you can use if you just want to do it on an auto loop. But even then, if you use an auto loop on SoundSwitch, it gives you a light show. Then that's the cool part about it.
yeah,
So it also cleans up your booth, because you don't have to have like the remotes like we have, the remotes, or like little extra things that you don't need to have on your booth, which makes you more your look. It's more professional. It's better, and it also it boosts your value. It makes you look more approachable and more expensive, so you can build up more, and it's very important now that I've learned this. I think that DMX, it's a huge thing for us DJs, especially if we're looking to charge premium. We need to give premium, and DMX it helps you achieve that. So what do you
yeah.
think about that?
And we got the lighting expert in here, Mr. Smiley. What's up, man? He put both of us on the SoundSwitch, right? That's all Smiley. He put both of us onto it because we all used to talk about Wolf Mix or SoundSwitch or oh, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And Smiley was like, "Yo, SoundSwitch is where it's at." He's tried everything. He's tried the AI light show too, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to the lighting.
Yeah, we should have brought Smiley in this live, man.
Yeah, right. We should
He
have
would
had
have
him,
he would have
especially
given.
now that he's already been a guest. Now that Smiley's not a mystery man no more.
Yeah, now we have a face to his name.
But yeah, no.
Uh,
The other big thing I'll say though is you can use the lighting when you have DMX. You can use it to add energy on your dance floor too,
yeah,
because like I did this last time. You can strobe it when there's like a drop coming up. You can black it out when right before the hype, and then just strobe everything, and the crowd actually reacted to it, which I was surprised by. Like I got bigger reactions from the crowd because the lighting was accenting what was happening with the dance floor. So that would have been that's another big advantage to why you should care about DMX. So I said, yo, that would have been dope. Oh man, we should have thought of that. We didn't even think about it because we thought of the topic yesterday, basically.
I mean, Smiley, if you're free and you're willing to hop on, I can send you the link. You can hop on the call if you want. You know,
You want to do it right
just
now?
make sure you're not frozen.
Yeah, or we can do it. We'll probably talk about this another time too.
Yeah, I mean, up to you. All right, so the next one I have, because I only made like very few. So some popular DMX software options. One is SoundSwitch, and the reason why I put SoundSwitch as one because it's the one that we use right now. But I've also used the Airstream DMX. I
Mhm.
looked into the DMX Go, So that was another one. Jason, you did mention DMX Pro, so I don't know if there's a difference or not.
Yeah, he said my DMX Go. Yeah, he said
Okay,
he
so
clarified that.
my DMX Go, that's another one. It's kind of similar to the Airstream DMX, same type of thing. And then we also have the Rekordbox Lighting that I know that there's a few DJs that use the Rekordbox Lighting, so directly from the Rekordbox controller, and also and then this ones are just for like like the more techie type of people, which will be the light jockey and then show express and the freestyler. Those are like monsters, and you just like you have every single thing to control, and you can do a whole bunch of like manual things with that. But in the simplicity that we're looking for, we will definitely go more based into the SoundSwitch, Airstream DMX, and my DMX, because again, it's the same, almost the same thing as the Airstream DMX. Hey,
Hmm.
what's up, buddy?
Yo, buddy in the house, dude. I'm sure.
Buddy, what do you
Buddy,
use?
yeah. What do you use, or what have? I don't know if you use anything now because I know he's on the Asteras. But what have you used in the past when it come to DMX programs?
Yeah,
And
we're very interested on like that. So just a couple of things about each ones that I've know, and based on the research that I did, what I was coming into the DMX world. So SoundSwitch, the reason why I thought it was very like helpful is because it syncs with Serato and Engine DJ. It also has like great out. I think it has great auto loops, auto like scripts that you can use because again it has 32, and they're nice. I like them. I use them on all of my events now. It's good for mobile DJs and club DJs. It's very plug and play pretty much. Once you have it set up the first time, it's plug and play the rest of the time. Um, and like I said, and the only con about it is you have to pay a subscription for like the monthly basis. The good thing is that when you purchase the equipment, the little dongle thing, you do get a 3 month trial, and after that is 9.99 if you want to do it by month, or I think I have it on the next slide, but I
it's like
think it's like
500 or something.
299 or 259, something like that, if you just want to buy the whole thing. So
Yeah,
that's
and then
for
Smiley says he wishes he's working on a slideshow for Quinceanera this weekend, sending it to San Jose, California. Dude, Smiley's always on that side hustle, sending things on eBay. He's always up to something, man. That's awesome. And then Buddy says Astera and Ape have apps for the DMX. Yep, that's another one that we add to the list is the controller that comes with the lights you buy, or in Astera and Ape, it's like a really nice,
yeah.
easy DMX software less
But yeah,
operation.
but the before you went into the steroids and the ape lab, then okay,
Then he said the Show Express.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what
so
I think the Show Express more like, it's probably been around for longer, but then these newer ones came out with this more automation, where you didn't have to necessarily it wasn't on you to have to program everything, which is
yeah,
nice about the SoundSwitch and
yeah.
even the other options,
So
MyDMX,
like
Airstream.
in other words, Show Express and Freestyler, LightJockey, and all of them are pretty much they're like androids. And then and then Airstream DMX, SoundSwitch, my DMX, those are Apple. Like
Yeah,
dummy proof.
you have
They're
more
dummy proof.
control. Yeah, you have
Apple's
more
are dummy
control,
proof.
I think, with the other ones. And these ones are just kind of like, all right, you want to just have random stuff happening, and then if you want to, you can get more technical, but it's
Yeah,
you don't
exactly.
have to get up and running, which I like, right? I think most mobile DJs, that's what you want, because you're not trying to like, our main goal is always going to be the sound, and then the
Yeah.
lighting is like, hopefully I can just set it and forget it.
And that's exactly why I love SoundSwitch, because again, I'm not really into like the full DMX, into like setting up every single fixture or whatever.
Yeah,
As long as I can do my my first dance spotlight, and I can control the lights for whatever color I want to do, and I can strobe for peak of the parties, and pinpoint parts of the event and blackout. That's really all I need. Everything else during the party, I use the 32 loops of like sound mode,
yeah.
whatever the sound switch has. So to me, that's perfect. I don't need any anymore, and that's why I like sound switch. But let me go to my DMX. Go. It's good for custom control. It also has a strong live triggering and pass systems. great for up lighting and show builds. It's affordable, which is a good thing. And the only thing is the learning curve. There's I've heard that it's a little bit on the difficult side to like figure out specs, like things of each light. It's just a little difficult. Not
Mhm.
impossible, but it could consume some time. As opposed
Another
to
thing
like,
I've heard about that one is that sometimes it's the same thing, same problem you have with the Airstream is that it doesn't always reliably connect the iPad to the lights. People tell me that they have the same problem with the MyDMX Go,
yeah, I was gonna
because
get on
basically what it is the difference between SoundSwitch and MyDMX and Airstream is you get a separate kind of standalone controller, but it's on your iPad. So you can the nice thing is you can walk around with it, you can change stuff, without being stuck on your laptop. But then the your iPad has to connect to the Airstream or the MyDMX little box, and then the box has to connect to the light. So then you have those two steps of connection, and then sometimes either doesn't connect to the box or the box doesn't connect to the lights. You have two spots where you could have connection issues.
Yeah. Okay. So what Smiley said on Black Friday, SoundSwitch version will be cheaper, but you wouldn't get the updates after another bit of a con. But the auto loops and auto scripts is basically cool with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I'm pretty cool with. I'm really happy with the sound switch
Oh,
auto loops.
oh, dude, nice. I've seen this thing. It's good for $20 though. I've seen it for $40. That's pretty.
About the DMX standard recently from Amazon for like 20. I noticed they will be delay on the lights at times.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I haven't
I've
looked
seen
into
that for
it.
$40. It's like a little box with
Uh-huh.
the antenna that sends the things far sends like the DMX signal farther, rather than just a little Chinley or Donner one.
Yeah.
No,
But if there's no updates, then why get it? That's if you get like, I guess, the whatever version, because I know that for SoundSwitch is, if you have the version previous to the new one, then you would no longer get updates. If you have
yeah, so
the
the
newest
way they
version,
do it, which is kind of probably their biggest con, like you said, the subscription and then how they do their thing is like if you let's say you bought SoundSwitch version 2, so you
yeah,
get all the updates like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, but when they come out with a new SoundSwitch 3 that has some different features, you have to pay again if you want to get that new one. If you do
yeah,
the subscription based, you're good, but that's like $10 a month, and you
yeah.
can get the newer one. But yeah, if you outright buy the software, it's not like you get lifetime updates, which is that's just how they decide to do it. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
just,
one of the things to keep in mind. So like I think from SoundSwitch 1 to SoundSwitch 2, SoundSwitch 2 had the auto loops in it,
yeah.
but
So which
but it's
one
for the
didn't
people
have?
that bought SoundSwitch 1, they don't get the auto loops. They have to buy it, or if they're on the subscription, they'll get it. But not if you outright buy the software. So that's why I'm thinking of just staying on a subscription for now.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I
and
am
then
on
see.
right now, subscription, because I get everything with the subscription base. So
Yeah,
it,
they're trying to
it
keep it on subscription, but I really like it. I mean, we'll talk more detail about it.
so the third one is the Urson DMX, and that's the one that I started with. That's the first one I chose, and because I looked, I did a lot of research, and I don't know, I just thought it was cool that it had its own Wi-Fi. So I was like, oh, it has its own Wi-Fi. That's pretty cool. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, but anyways, what it gives you wireless iPad control. That's another thing that I like. I was like, oh, I can use my phone or the iPad. That that'd be so cool. It looks more fancy.
Mhm.
Wrong. Anyways, it runs your live show from anywhere in the venue, pretty much. It's user friendly. It is user friendly. The app itself is user friendly, very easy to maneuver, dummy proof. Perfect for mobile DJs, yes, because it's quick. It has built-in effects generator. No internet needed, obviously, because it has its own Wi-Fi, and it is affordable because it's only like $500, I think, and there's no subscription fees. The app is already included in that thing. But the worst part of the Airstream DMX, and I don't know if anybody else had this one, is the connectivity. It will never connect from my iPad to the freaking wireless thing. It always said no internet connection, no internet connection, or
Mm.
lost internet connection. And when I had internet connection, I would press the button and the damn lights will do it like 3 hours later. Like it was so frustrating. It was so annoying. And I was like, man, $500 for this shit. Like, I mean, for this thing. And horrible, man. I was really
Yeah.
upset and frustrated at that. So I was like, I gotta do something else because I can't be stressing out on this when I have so many other things to worry about.
Yeah.
And that's when like a lot of people, and Smiley said it too, like SoundSwitch. And then when I did the search, I saw that the dongle was only $40. I was like, okay, I ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And
Three
plus, it
months.
gave you the 3 months trial. I was like, oh, this
That's
is
how they
it.
get you. That's how they get you in. Then they get you on the subscription, and you're on
Yeah.
that thing.
And then after that, like I did it, I did the trial, whatever. I set up my stuff, and it was so easy that I was like, I'm gonna keep this one. So, and I've kept it since then. And I kid you not, I go to every event when I do events. I go to every event, and all I have to do is go to my center stage portion, rearrange my lights.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and then go to like my other I call it like dinner environment or dinner mode, whatever. And
Yeah.
then I just already have it on a different color if I need to. It's
You
just so
save all
it's
that.
very
That's what
simple. You
saves.
can do it on the spot, like a minute or two, and then you can change stuff, which is pretty cool. That's why I like SoundSwitch. It's very simple, dummy proof.
Yeah, it is. It's really easy. I mean, I was up and running. I probably spent like 3 hours to just know exactly what I was doing. But once those 3 hours, I'm like, I had static scenes. I was able to move my movers however I needed to.
Yeah,
And the biggest thing that I figured out is that you can control it with your DJ controller.
yeah,
And that's the video I made, which I was like, this is crazy because like, okay, you can have that sound switch control one, but that's a whole nother like thing you have to bring and set up and plug in and have it, like especially if it's a lavish booth. Like you don't want to, I didn't want to have another thing sitting on top of my lavish booth. But
facts.
now I can just on my controller just have a strobe button, have a blackout button, have dedicated buttons for that, and you can do it on the fly. You don't have to switch screens. So I recommend anyone doing sound switches just start with the little dongle. It's $40. Like you don't have to buy the control one for the
Yeah,
beginning. And if you decide you want it, you go ahead and buy it. You can MIDI map to anything you want. But yeah, just start with that dongle. Start with the 3 months, and then if you don't like it, whatever. It's 3 months. Or if you bought it on Amazon, you can return it in a month too. The little dongle, and there's no
yeah.
harm.
You get your money back, and you got to use it. So
And you got to use it. Yeah. Smiley says you probably need a small travel router. I see people get travel routers for the Maestro DMX. Somewhere has their own Wi-Fi. Oh shit. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I mean,
see,
so
I didn't know.
if you have to bring a router. That's just extra things to bring.
Yeah,
So
that's extra. That's unnecessary. You don't need that
yeah,
with SoundSwitch, so that's
probably
fine.
better to just switch
Yeah.
to SoundSwitch rather than doing all those extra
Now,
steps.
now the other one is the Rekordbox Lighting, and I know that this is more like the usually Rekordbox controllers they have a specific port for the light, the DJ, the whatever intelligent lighting, so
Mm-hmm.
you can use that one too. I've never used it because I'm not a Rekordbox user, so I don't know much about this. So that's why I don't have a lot of pros and cons and stuff. But it has a direct link to Pioneer Gear. It also simple to use with Rekordbox users. Seamless integration, but it's limited to fixtures. Not every fixture. I don't know if you can go like if you buy a Chinese light. I don't know if you can actually map that Chinese light, no brand or whatever. I don't know if it. I've never used it, so I can't
Mm-hmm.
speak on Rekordbox. But I know that's one of the lighting DMX softwares that there are out there.
Yeah,
And then
that's
obviously,
it
like I said,
it comes free with Rekordbox, so
yeah.
that's nice.
No, and obviously the monsters, Show Express, Freestyler, those they're Windows based, and that's another thing that it was like a downside for me. It's because I don't use Windows computers. I have Mac, and I'm not gonna switch to a Windows computer just for lighting, So
Well, what I'll say is that what I've seen people do that use this, 'cause I remember I actually knew a DJ that used Show Express, is they bring a separate laptop. So that's when you're bringing in a separate laptop
that's
just
more
to
so,
do.
but I understand. But yeah, you bring an extra laptop if you having a facade in front of you to cover all
Yeah.
the big crap that you're gonna have in there. But
Oh, even there's just it's just extra stuff to bring. I wasn't gonna I wouldn't do that because it's just one more thing to bring just for lights. It's like okay, I could bring a whole other laptop just for lights, or I could do these that I could just do it all from one laptop. So I think when you're bringing like a whole team or something, like your whole team of DJs, like okay, maybe you have someone a dedicated light guy that can use that.
Yeah.
But if it's just you, it's like why do you want to have an extra laptop, set it up, and do that? Like if there's other options.
Yeah, and like Body said on one of our previous videos, he said less is more.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you add more into your, your more equipment to your stuff that at the end of the day you have to pack up just for lights? Where
And that was my mentality, like with DMX in general. That's why I didn't want to get into it because I'm like, I don't want to do more stuff. Like I'm trying to do less as possible. Let me just stick to these remotes. But then I got too many remotes. That's what was happening. I had remotes for the IR4s were the best. You could control them all with one. But then I had wash effect remotes. I had my moving heads remotes. It was like so then it became like, okay, now I'm probably gonna do less by having an easy DMX software.
You needed a universal remote at that point.
Yeah, I needed a remote like to control one remote for everything. That's what I really needed. So
yeah, and like I also had two different remotes. I had one for like obviously one for the IR4s, and then the other remote that I have for the wash effect hexes, the IR6. And yeah, too many. So once I got the SoundSwitch, I got everything working perfect, flawlessly, and straight to the point. It does what I needed to do, and I'm sold. I'm sold on SoundSwitch. Okay, so moving on from this, let's go. So this is the SoundSwitch. Nice. That's the dongle right here. This is gonna cost you $40. This is how the app looks on the not on the performance side, but on the building side. Yeah, edit mode. On edit mode, this is how it looks, and this is the control one. If you want to get the control one, it's $300. If you don't want to get it,
it's not needed at all. It's not like a necessary.
You don't need it.
You can see like the price you can expect to pay is $40 for the dongle, and then either the $9.99 for the subscription or $199. So that's your like startup fee,
Yeah, $199 for if you want to buy the software. But again, if you buy the software, it only allows you the updates until it goes to the next level, and then from there you have to buy it again. So in my point of view, my recommendation, if you do go to SoundSwitch, just pay monthly, and it will update for you. So, and what did he say?
He said, okay, that's a good point. That still carry remotes in your bag as a backup if SoundSwitch ever decides to not work at all. Yeah, definitely. Just keep the remotes as a backup now, and then you're good. You're covered. All right, whatever. SoundSwitch not working for some reason, then you can just press a fade mode, and do what you did before.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
You have an issue. What's up?
I always take my remotes with me just in case, because I bought them as a backup. So I always at least for the wash effect hexes, the remote is always in the same bag that I travel with. So whatever happens is fine. But thank God until now, SoundSwitch has not failed me yet, and I've done like different venues, and it's worked in every single one of them. So I can't really complain.
I mean, I've used it twice, like out in the wild so far, and it's worked both times. But so far so good. That's what I was worried about. I'm like, all right, when I show up there, it's been a couple of weeks. If I just plug it in, is it gonna work? And I plug it in, turn on the transmitter, and it's working. So I was
the response is good too. It's quick.
Oh yeah, it's so quick. It's so quick.
Yeah, so it's not like you press a button and then it takes 3 seconds and then it works. No, it literally you press the button and it works. The Airstream DMX, when I had it, bro, that joint, I'll press it right now and tomorrow it will light up. Real time when it worked.
Then you wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, oh shit, my lights are going off in my house now.
All right, so this is my DMX Go. It's $219, and you get this little dongle right here. Well, not dongle, but you get this little transmitter, and then you have to use the app. I don't know if it's only. No, I think it works for Androids, and I never used my DMX Go, so I don't know. But
yeah,
every time I seen it being used, it's always been on an iPad. So I don't know if it's only on iOS,
like Fire tablet or something.
Yeah, or it works in a regular tablet. I don't know.
Oh, that's
But
good. Let me hit these real quick. Smiley says, I have my cold sparklers on SoundSwitch, way easier than using the remote. Yeah, that's another advantage. And you can do that with a bunch of different ones too. But he
only
says
Apple.
only Apple. So
That's
my
why.
only Apple. And then he says being far away at times. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely for the
So
sparklers with a
so
button.
if the DMX Go is only good for Apple, then that's a con. It should be able to be used for Apple and Windows because not a lot of people use Apple computers. They use Windows computers, so they have to be all inclusive to all
Yeah,
the
that's a
all the,
con
all
for
the
sure.
users. Yeah. So, but yeah. So 219 for this one, but the app is already. It's not like you have to. It's not a subscription. The app works and all of that. 219 for that. Now we go to the Airstream DMX. This one it's $500. This little you get this little transmitter thing, and this is the app. So pretty chill, pretty easy. I think it's one of the easiest one, if not the easiest one out of all of them to use to patch, to go there to with the iPad and you control it and all that. It's the easiest one that I think based on like what I've used and seen. But it's one is one of those things that it's the easiest one, but not the most reliable because it
Yeah.
has its own network and it works when it wants to work.
We got
So
Chinchillin's back. What's up, Chinchillin? He says it gets lagging sometimes too on my DMX Go. So it sounds like the same problem that you're having with the Airstream.
okay, so yeah, and see, look, the Airstream DMX has two antennas, two plus the one from the Chingley or whatever donor that has its own antenna. That's three antennas,
Yeah,
and
you
you
got
still can't, and you still can connect.
you
Like
still
that's
can't
crazy,
connect.
man. And you still can connect.
He's connecting the next day, dude.
Yeah, and
But
when
he
you
says he doesn't use Apple. He just eats them. And Buddy says my DMX Go is on 2.4 gigahertz. So he's talking about like it's on the same frequency as Wi-Fi, so you might get some
right,
interference. But I'm sure Airstream DMX is probably the same thing, right? It's probably still on the Wi-Fi connection.
it's still Wi-Fi. It still should be 2.4.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's another downside.
So one of the biggest issues that I had with this Airstream DMX was hotels. When I had to do hotel parties, that's when I had the biggest issue because it would not work at all. I had to always be doing manual stuff because it would never connect.
Because
It,
it's too much Wi-Fi.
I guess so, but on my iPad it will say no internet connection available. No internet connection available. I'll turn it off, turn it back on. It'll work. I'll be testing the lights. Everything works, and then right when the event is gonna happen, boom, it stops working again. So
Wow.
like yeah, it sucks and it's very stressful to go through this. It doesn't look professional too to like be stressing about these
Yeah,
things when you
lights.
have to
Like
worry about.
you got so many things to worry about. You're worried about your lights, It's like
Yeah. So
it's
like
not worth
again,
it.
SoundSwitch has saved all that stress for me. All I have to do honestly is go to the event, finish up setting up. The last I want to say within an hour of the event, I can literally spend those 15-20 minutes setting up my lights how I wanted to like point, where I wanted to point, and it's so easy, so quick. I love SoundSwitch, man. It's one of the easiest changes I've done. Let's
Yeah, and
see.
Buddy says Chave DJ FlareCon is also on 2.4 gigahertz. I have that also. Oh, I think those are the little dongles for Chave. So if you don't use this, like if you don't use one of these, like the Donner or the Chinley, Chave has their own. Is it FlareCon or is it called DeFi or something? Maybe it's called DeFi.
You're talking about DFly. Yeah.
Yeah, or I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's FlareCon. But basically, this is what for SoundSwitch. You just need this. You get this dongle for $40,
Hmm.
USB to DMX, and then you just plug in whatever DMX transmitter you want. So this is the one that I have. I have Chinley, the same thing, Donner or whatever.
We
Or
have the same. Yeah.
you could do a better one. You just plug that in, power it up, and it's good to go. So that's why I really like it.
But like Chingy and don't it's called Chingy. Chinggy.
No, Chingy. It doesn't really matter. Chingy's the artist, right there, right there, right there. And Chinley's the brand.
Oh, so it has an L?
Yeah, that's it.
Bro, really?
Chin Lee.
Oh, Ching Li. I thought it was Ching Yi.
Oh, look right here, dude. Chin Lee. This is the one made in China.
Oh, okay.
But it's all the same. That one, Donner.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
It's
Chin
a
Lee. Yo, Chingy is the
Ching Li.
2000s, the
Okay.
rapper.
Yeah, Ching. All right.
But he
So
says Astera's UHF. That's cool. So you don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi. And Smiley says, same here. I set them up to point on the chandelier ceiling during dinner time for moving heads. Yep. And then Lixada. Yeah, Lixada is another brand. I think it's basically the same thing.
but like Lexada, Ching Li, and Donner, I think that they're all in 2.4.
Yeah.
They're all
But
in
you can change
2.4.
the channels on them. That's the advantage.
Yeah, yeah, you can change it. You can change the channels and things, but they're all in the 2.4.
Yeah.
So essentially, it doesn't matter what brand you get because you're gonna. It's the same, like the same power and the same transmission. It's just that the channel that you want to use it on. Try to find the one that's less busy. Essentially.
And Buddy says, yeah, Shave DJ FlareCon is the transmitter system. Yeah. So this is a big thing though. If you're using the Shave like DeFi or the FlareCon, you have to only use those receivers and transmitters. You can't use these Chinese ones. So
isn't it limited also to just Shave light or works for any light?
no, because you can buy the receivers. Like it's the same
Uh-huh.
thing. You buy a transmitter and then comes with like 3 receivers. So you have to use those. You can't use like the Chinese, silver, like the Chinli one you just showed. You can't use that with the Shave transmitter system. So you have to like
use
change out
the D-Fly ones.
the DeFi. Yeah. So like let's say you bought the both IR4s or whatever that has built-in wireless. You can't use the Shave transmitter system of that. You have to use these Chinese ones, the Donner or the Chinli transmitter, because it doesn't have those, like we have those color groups for our DMX, the Chinese ones.
Yeah.
The Shave doesn't have those color groups. It just has its own, FlareCon system. So it doesn't have those colors like red, green.
So this.
Yeah.
The
Even that
FlareCon.
FlareCon, FlareCon Air.
Yeah, this is a FlareCon Air 2.
Yeah. So, but they have a smaller one too. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's called it looks like the one that we have.
And this is the one.
Yeah.
Oh, it might be this one. This one? That's small.
No, I think that's the same thing, but it's just like bigger. Like it probably has better transmitting.
It's 164. That's cheap. That's not bad.
This is what I was thinking of.
But for this one, what type of software do you need to like? Is it subscription based or what?
No, it's not. It's not a software. It's just like how it sends the signal. That's all it is. So like this is like the black one. The black one is the transmitter. So it's like the transmitter that we have, like this thing. And then those 3 are the receivers. So those you plug into your lights that you want the signal to get to.
But how do you control the lights? With
you
what?
can use same whatever. Like like you just plug that thing in, the transmitter into the end of your dongle, like this. You just plug that in and into this.
Yeah, but what do you use? What software do you use for this one?
Whatever, SoundSwitch, same thing. SoundSwitch. Yeah, any sound. It's just a transmitter. It just gets the signal out. That's all that is.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, you know what? I was actually looking into this one. This DJ Fly XLR. I was looking into this one.
Yeah.
But I was like, damn, 329.
Well, the problem is if you use this, it won't control your IR4s.
Okay. So
because the IR4s are on it, that's what I'm saying. It's on a different system.
Okay.
It's on the Chinese system. So if you use this, that's the biggest downside. Is you have IR4s, you won't be able to use anything that has the Chinese that has built-in Wi-Fi. You can't do built-in wireless DMX. You can't use.
Okay, so you literally have to have that connected.
Yeah, you have to have that thing, or you know how like Shave has their own ILS, like those wireless.
Yeah.
You could use those, but
okay,
let's get these comments though.
I had a brain fart. That's it.
Yeah, Smiley says you use the rechargeable receivers. Yep, get the rechargeable ones. I'll get the ones you have to plug in. That's just more plugs you have to do. And then Buddy says Chave's app also works on Android. That's good. So that's the first gen transmitter. 2 is the newest one. I have the first gen. They have an app for them. Okay, so they have an app too. Shave has an app, the FlareCon app. So yeah.
I,
So maybe for those other ones, like the first two ones that you showed, you use that app to control them. But yeah, I know for that that one that I showed, it's just like a transmitter, you know.
so,
Yeah,
buddy, what would you rate from, like, you want to say from 1 to 10? What would you rate this app? Is it easy? Like, let's talk about, like, is it user friendly, connectivity wise, and was it workable?
yeah. But yeah, buddy, I think he probably uses the Astera, like and the Ape remotes, or like their own
Yeah, yeah,
DMX
of course.
software.
But he used this one. He used the Shop It app and whatever. So
Yeah.
it'd be good to see his point of view on this specific. Just like I used before the Airstream DMX. I'm giving my point of view. I wouldn't buy it again. Actually, if anybody wants to take it from me, let me know. We can work a deal. Cause I don't want it.
Shipping included.
Shipping included. Yeah, shipping included. I just got to put it. No, I'm gonna sell it because I don't use it anymore. The SoundSwitch is so, like, the
Yeah.
little table is so, like, simple and easy. So I like that more.
Yeah, exactly. Same. Yeah, I haven't used anything else, but yeah. While buddy types that, what happened? You have it's the slideshow?
No, that was it. That
Oh,
was
that
it.
was it. Oh, that was
Yeah,
it. Okay, cool.
that was as far
Yeah,
as I
so
got.
what I'd say though is about the sound switch is the thing that I was worried about at first was I was like, oh, I would like it so I could walk around. You know, I wasn't stuck to my laptop when controlling my lights. So that's why I was thinking about the Wolf Mix, which
Yeah,
we didn't mention. But the Wolf Mix is kind of similar to the
control one.
to the Control One, but it's just on its own. Like you don't have to plug it into anything. You just have the transmitter on it, and it has everything built in.
Yeah, but
I was
you
like,
still have to plug it to power. You can't walk around.
exactly, yeah. You need power. But what I'd seen people do a power bank and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe you
Walk
could
with
you
a
could do it
power bank and
like a boombox. Power bank.
yeah, and that wouldn't work.
But no, but the biggest thing was then Smiley said that it was hard to program with it. So it wasn't like as simple as on the sound switch where it has just auto loops and everything like that. So I was like, all right, let me start with sound switch first, and then I found out that it actually is an advantage because SoundSwitch, you can run Serato or whatever you use, Serato, whatever, virtual DJ, you can run that and you can run SoundSwitch. And then because your controller is plugged into it, now you can control the lights on your controller, which you can't do on any of these other ones. MyDMX Go, Wolf Mix, you can't do that.
Yeah, you
Only
can't.
Rekordbox, I bet you can. I haven't tested, but that's probably one of the things with Rekordbox. But that one's not as popular. So that's a huge thing with SoundSwitch. I mean, right there on your DJ controller to press a button and to control the light show. I mean, that's a huge advantage to the SoundSwitch one. And Smiley says, I hated DMX before. I recently sold my Shave DMX controller with the knobs. Yep. It's been sitting in my closet. Yeah, that's the thing. So when I thought DMX, I used to think it was the faders. That is pure DMX. I'm like, there's no way I'm learning this. There's no way I'm doing any of this.
I have the one that one, the 512.
Oh, you have that one?
Yeah, I have one. I never used it though, but I have it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I'm like, but that's the thing. I thought SoundSwitch, you don't have to do any of that. You just write, this is the color I want. I want pink color. And literally all the lights that you have synced up will go to a pink color. You don't have to be like, all right, this one has this fader and this one has this fader. You just drag it on the color you want, and it'll create that color for all the lights, like even the different fixtures, the wash effects. So that's why I'm like, it doesn't even like seem like DMX. It just seems like, all right, pick the color, pick the position. You don't have to worry about the faders and the numbers and that complicated part about DMX, which I really like.
Yeah, it's like you have your computer Bluetooth to the light, and it's doing everything that you wanted to do from whatever. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Exactly. Buddy said the Shave is good, just with 2.4 gigahertz, and the units are not repeaters. Always ran into lights not working. The Stereos always work much better wireless network. Yeah. So sounds like the similar issues that Diego was having with the Airstream, and that Chin Chillin said about the MyDMX Go, is that it's just not that reliable. The light's not working, flickering around, not delaying. 2 days later, the lights turn on.
Yeah, literally, yo, you put a scene in like New Year's Eve, and for New Year's it plays.
You gotta set it. You gotta set it 12 hours in advance before the ball drops midnight. You're up, setting your scene for the next morning. And then Smiley says, so you could do the same with SoundSwitch. Yeah, get a small laptop or a Surface Pro, get a USB power bank. Welcome to the bottom. Yeah, so if you have a separate Surface Pro or something, then you can run your SoundSwitch off of that too. But yeah, I wasn't. I saw Daryl Bennett doing that. I think we talked about that one. You could make it if you really wanted to. You can do it with a separate device. But I just love it. I open Serato, open SoundSwitch, do it on there, and we're in business, So I really like that about it. But
Yeah, I mean,
you can. That's the way to do it.
literally, you can literally press two keys, and then it switches screens. Do
Yeah.
whatever you have to do, and then go back to your Serato, whatever you use, and
Yeah.
and it's fine. Man. It does the job. Essentially, it does what it needs to do. And obviously, there's some limit. There's some limitations in there, but again, it's so much easier for people like us that are not so into the world of like DMXing and controlling every single aspect of lights.
Yeah.
We just wanted to do specific things, and then for the rest of the time, party mode.
Yeah.
And like it's so much. I just think it's better. Now, we're not being sponsored by SoundSwitch, but we both have experience with SoundSwitch, and we both think the same. So
yeah, exactly. And then while Buddy's talking about this is a good time to talk about the remotes. But he's saying if it was on UHF, you would be better off. This is why Ape is so much better. Each light talks to the other lights. You get what you pay for $400 a light or $100 a light. Yeah, that's the thing. Ape is kind of has this interesting, like really advanced technology. Each light sends a signal to another light, so that even makes your range like unlimited, because as long as you have a light maybe within 100 feet or so, then that light will send it'll send it like a chain to the next one, to the next one, the next one. Then you can it does more complex lighting shows and stuff just from talking to the lights talking to each other. So that's why they charge as much as they do, and then but versus SoundSwitch and stuff, wherever you're sending the signal from, that's where the signal comes from. It goes to all the lights. The lights do that thing.
Yeah, but 400 a light, that's crazy.
Yeah, 400. So that's the thing. If 400 a light or $100 a light,
yeah,
that's your choice. And Smiley says for sure, but I may get a Surface Pro and do that also, since I rent out cold sparklers individually. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good point. Like if you're doing the setup for someone else, then and you just want to have control of the cold sparks from the back, you don't want to have to always bring your whole laptop, set it up. You can have a Surface Pro power the transmitter, just a little portable transmitter, and have your sound switch on there, and then just be like in the back, press the sparklers, press this, press that. So you can invest in that and do that with SoundSwitch if you want to.
I wonder if you can. It would be cool. I wonder if you can SoundSwitch the Dancing on the Cloud Machine, the Nimbus.
Oh,
does it even have a?
No, I don't think.
I don't remember.
I don't think you can, because you have to drop the pan. And then you have to move it around.
You press a button in SoundSwitch and the thing goes down.
And drops. No, I think if you had like a CO2 cannon, like if you have a mounted CO2 cannon, you can do
that lower, yeah.
That, but the Nimbus is tough, because then you have to move it too. Like you have to move it side to side.
It would be so cool. It would be so cool if it could. But so I guess for like the sparklers, you can. I'm guessing you can determine how tall you want it through SoundSwitch. How much and like how many minutes you want it to run for.
Oh yeah. Let us know, Smiley. Can you can activate? I know you can activate and stop it, but can you control the height? Can you control do an automatic 30 seconds and then it'll stop, or is it only you have to press start, press stop, and that's all you can do?
Yeah,
that's interesting. And then I says we have 3 events May 17th. My friend is going to DJ a birthday. I'm running Dancing on Clouds, and my wife is running Cold Sparks at another event. Wow, dude, that's crazy, bro. You're like multi-op now, bro. That's multi-op level stuff, dude. 3 events in one day. So yeah, Dancing on the Clouds, like we just talked about, you'll need you can't do the DMX, but yeah, the cold sparks you'll have to figure out. Either
Can
you
you
want to do the
imagine
remote or you
on
want to do the
on SoundSwitch, you press a button and automatically the ice like drops in the bucket. Press another button and it goes down. And
and then press the third button and the cart moves side to side, sprays the dance floor. And what you do is you mount the Nimbus on like a remote control car, and then you like drive it around the dance floor.
You know what? That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I didn't think about that.
But you got to be on point with the controls, otherwise you like mess up and you like drive it straight into the quinceañera in the middle of the dance floor.
No, okay, not that high. You
Not
only press start. Okay, so you can only do start and stop. You can't determine the height or anything like that. I mean, but shit. I mean, still, it gets the job done. You know, start and stop.
Yeah, you just kind of preset how high you want it to go, and then just do that. And then the cool thing then during dance floor, like you still have some powder left. Then like if there's a drop or something during the dance floor, some hype song, you do the sparklers during a drop.
That'd be cool. And another thing that I mentioned that I like about SoundSwitch is that you can drag each song you want, put it onto like their system, and it automatically creates a light show for each song that you prepare. So I like that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you can edit that a little bit more too. Is that right?
Yeah, you can edit it.
You can edit it, and then the other cool thing I liked about it was how what was that? Okay, actually, I forgot the feature. That's funny. I forgot the feature that I was gonna say about SoundSwitch, but there's another feature similar to that with the auto loops. The thing is it syncs to your Serato. So I tested it because there's a way to do it that just the loops just go off beat. But you can also get it to sync on dance floor time. You put it onto your sync with your Serato, and then with the beat, the lights will pulse and stuff. Which is cool because it doesn't listen to the mic; it listens to your actual like software. So as you transition, it'll there's a song as a douche, all the lights will sort of pulse with that on the BPM too, which is cool. Rather than just using that built-in mic, which isn't as accurate.
Yeah. So for instance, this is one part, so you guys can see. This is like once you have your fixtures already. What do you call it?
Like you add your fixtures.
Patch. Yeah, they're patched. They're already patched.
Yeah.
And so basically, this is what I do when I go to an event and I'm trying to just figure out what color I want and then where I want my movie heads. Literally, we just right here. You can choose the color, choose the intensity. When you go to position, that's where you can adjust where you want it to go. And then if you want it to strobe or not. And then right here on the side where it says attributes, you can start specifically specifying everything that you want to do. And then once you go into like save, it saves easy. It saves it. And then once you go out of here, and then you have it on your save loops or on your save whatever performance mode, it's just like a touch of a button, or you can toggle it too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, then but Smiley says, I like the feature uses the microphones and listens to other DJs, music, or bands as well. So what he's saying is if you don't have it attached to your computer, or you don't have it attached to your Serato, you can put it on a mode that it'll use your mic on your laptop or whatever, and it'll use that to keep the beat. So that's another really cool feature. So you can use it in all these different ways. You don't have to use it with your program. You don't have to use it with auto loops. You can though, or you have these other options as well.
Yeah, and like here, for example, right here, once you go ahead and let's say you analyze one song and it creates a show. So this is the show that it creates, and from here you can change anything you want from like each part of the song. You can make strobe or whatever for in a specific part of the song, and automatically once you play that song, the SoundSwitch will recognize the song and start doing whatever you wanted to do here. So I'm telling you, it's amazing, man. It's pretty cool. You just gotta put the time to like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you want to, other cool thing is so the auto loops they're pre-programmed, but you can edit the auto loops too. So let's say you like one of them, but you want to add more colors to it. then you can change that auto loop around, and then you can choose for your lights to just keep doing that auto loop over and over again. You don't have to go through all 32 of them if you don't want to. So there's some that I just do that. I've messed around and like, oh, this one just stays in purple too long. Like I want it to switch colors. So then you can switch the color to something else, and then that auto loop will always switch to that other color that you have in mind.
So when you go to performance mode, this is the first one that you will see. Your performance pad. So this is the main one that you will see. But then you can go to either auto loop or static. When you go to static looks, that's when, let me see if I can get a picture of that. But static looks, that one is the one that I use the most, and because I mean that's the one that I like. Let me see if I can find it.
And while you do that, the buddy says Astera also has a mic and a tap button for BPM set. Yeah, so you can tap on it and then set the BPM that way. But yeah, that's cool. So Astera has that same feature where it uses the microphone and it can sync up to the lights better that way. I think Ape has something, and Ape does the same thing. Like they have the same. I've seen it it's really nice. Like how when it pulses to the beat, it looks really good. Like it comes in, fades out, fades in. And I think Astera probably has a similar type of function like that.
I can't find it, but
static. Like the static menu. Yeah.
Yeah, the static menu. That's what.
Yeah, so it's just like a menu where you can save all your different static looks, and then they're all right there. You can just switch over to the program and click them, or you can have it on your little MIDI controller. Some people they just buy like a tiny little a MIDI controller with just the pads, like the drum pad, and you can use that and just set that to different scenes if you don't want to switch programs and go that way.
Yeah, that's also a good one that you can do. Grab one of those little mini pads.
Yeah, you don't have to have the whole control one. You can just have a little pad. And this is cool. Buddy says it's for Ape. It's called Music Mode. BSR named it for them. So Brian S. Red. That's awesome, dude. That he named that mode, because that's like their proprietary the mode that they use for Ape. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a cool fact. I didn't know that he named it. And he says, when I use AutoScript on a few banger songs, people go really wild with Light Show. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. I didn't really. I was thinking, whatever, lights are lights. They just go in the background. People don't really care. But at my last event, I didn't have AutoScript, but I would strobe it on the drops, and I would make it go dark, and then do a whiteout, and stuff like that. And people really responded to it, which I was like, it really kind of elevated the whole experience. I had all the uplights are doing that, and then I was using the wash effects too. And they were doing the same thing. So the whole room would go dark, and then everything would strobe, and people were like, oh, people really noticed it when the lights changed like that.
Yeah, so it's a completely different vibe with everything is synced together. Everything's going with the music. It's pretty cool. And once, again, before I didn't really care, but once you started getting into DMX and you see the potential and everything that you can do with it, and you do it at one event, you end up wanting more and more and more. The thing is, you got to have the time.
It's true, dude. It's so true.
Right?
That's so true, bro. Because that's the same thing. I'm like, yo, this is legit now. I can control any light. I can do anything. And like somebody says, you saw people's faces, you see that wow effect. You're like, yo, it's almost similar to that feeling when you when you first start DJing, you play a banger, and you're like, yo, everyone's responding to this. This is sick. So it's like the lights. So that's why I'm buying more lights to try to test them out and add more of that effect. And so you can get really into it. And the thing with lighting is not like speakers. All right, I have 2 speakers. Lighting is there's so many types of lights out there. It's a rabbit hole, So you can really go deeper into it. And at the end of the day, as long as it's the effect, the clients are responding to it. That's the thing. So if you're noticing that it's changing, how people are responding at your events, then keep doing it, But maybe they'll get to a point where it's like, all right, I'm just adding 2. You don't want to be that DJ that has so many lights too. That's you're at that small room, and you're that guy with the bar, and you just have every light up there. like
the one we saw with the bad setups.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
20,000.
Yeah, you don't want to do that either. So you got to remember that. Don't be that guy. When he plays probably the same thing. He's like, yo, he probably got excited. Yo, I got all these lights. I can do this. I can do that. And then you get too excited. So you gotta remember that too. Don't get too carried away with the lights too.
That's right. But all right, guys, it's been an hour, and it doesn't went by quick. Look, so much to talk about in regards to DMX. But we hopefully
talk about some other ones. There's like the AI lighting is coming out now too, and stuff.
The intelligent ones.
So yeah, both of us though, like both of us went into it, and we are big fans of it now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, definitely. You guys, thank you for all your comments, and appreciate the fact that you guys would definitely share what you guys use. And there's different type of setups, and there's different type of software for everyone. You never know which one you're gonna end up liking, so might as well try them. But definitely don't go with the Airstream DMX, because if you don't want to stress out, don't do that. SoundSwitch for the win. Or if you had the money to spend, go with the A Labs, because they do use the UHF, which is better signal, less busy. So that's awesome. Again, guys, thank you very much for your time. We'll see you next week, hopefully, and we'll keep up with it, coming with new topics. See you in the next one.
See you next week, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, buddy, and Smiley. Thanks, and man. One of these days, man. All right, man.
Jim was there. Yeah, shout
chilling. Yeah, buddy, Smiley, and Jason was there at the beginning too.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, one of these days that we can get back on the show for sure.
Yeah, we need to go back into like where we started. Like Jason was the first one to jump in. So we need to get Jason back in here, bro. Too.
Yeah, Jason, chilling. Yeah, there he is, man.
We gotta get Bobby back in here. So yeah, we're gonna eventually try to get all of you guys back here, because we have so much to learn from you guys, and hopefully you guys are learning a little bit from us. And everything here is a learning process. We're always learning. We're here to help. So with that being said, again, have a good one. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.